All right, all right. So glad to be back again tonight to be able to share the word of the Most High. I appreciate those of you that have chimed in, and we're going to get straight into it. So, those of you that's been on the live a few weeks ago, you know, you heard me talk about the millions of dollars worth of game that I've been able to accumulate by interviewing professional entrepreneurs, business owners from around the world, not just in this country, but from around the world, via the different businesses that I've ran and come across these individuals. I've asked them questions and they shared similar answers. And I jotted those answers down, some of the most common things. But this is an answer that a few of them shared, but not the majority. And I'm going to share this one with you today because this has been a ultimate key of my success in being able to be a part of a six-figure establishment and on the verge of multiple six-figure establishments. This key element right here, this this key has been vital. All right, and I'm going to share that with you today. So, of course, the Most High is the number one key to all of our success on the line. But I want to share with you that perhaps the second most valuable key in my life and me being who I am today. And the title of tonight's message is The Value of a Wise Woman. I'm gonna say that one more time. The value of a wise woman. So I already let the cat out the bag. Listen here. A wise woman is the cheat code. All right, for you brothers out there that you're not married, I'm telling you this. If you got you a wise woman, I'm telling you, you are on your way. If you have a wise woman and a woman that fears Yah, because the fear of Yah, according to Proverbs 9 and 10, is the beginning of wisdom. So if you have a woman that fears the Most High, she reveres him, she honors him and respects him, she is going to be able to share like manner respect with you as well. So I let the cat out the bag. A wise woman is a key to success. Let's go ahead and go to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 7. All right. In a world where women are constantly being dogged out, in a world where women are being shamed, all right, I'm here tonight to encourage those women on the live and those that will see this at a subsequent time, and for the brothers on the line to encourage them that listen, I'm telling you, a wise woman can lead you to wealth. This is the Wisdom and Wealth Organization, the group. A wise woman can lead you to some wealth, and they can help you sustain it if you pay attention. All right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 7. We're going to the book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 19. It said, "Forego not a wise and good woman, for her grace is above gold." So guess what? If we sit down and I sat down with these men and I had bars of gold right here, and I had this wise woman, the majority, 9 out of 10, are going to reach for the bars of gold. But I'm telling you right here, the book of Sirach says that a wise woman, her value is above gold. All right, just like wisdom is above rubies, a wise woman is above gold. So make sure, brothers, when you are out here on your journey and you're seeking and you're seeking the Most High, make sure that you are not just are looking for a woman just by her hips or the BBL that they have. Yeah, I said BBL now because they're walking around with fake behinds now, or not just the breasts or not just the thighs. All right, you want to make sure that you have a woman that fears the Most High in all his ways. Let's continue though. So we talked about forego not a wise woman, her value is above gold. Go to Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Listen, I'm telling you here tonight, a wise woman can help you out. I'm gonna show you the opposite though, real quick. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse number 10. Proverbs 31 and verse number 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. This is a wise woman, a virtuous woman. It said her price is above rubies. It said the heart of her husband can safely trust her. That means this is a trustworthy woman. This wise woman is valuable. She's trustworthy. All right. She will do him good and not evil all her life. I'm not going to read all the things about the virtuous woman, but I just wanted to share that piece right there before I go forward further. So now let's go to what the opposite of a wise woman can be. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. All right. Appreciate the brothers that's on the live, that's taking heed to this. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. Every wise woman, she builds her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Listen, it said every wise woman builds her house. If you have a wise woman, she is going to build what you are building. She is going to help your hands as you are building in the process. So don't just go looking for the breasts and the thighs. You got to make sure that she got something up here. Because what did the book of Ecclesiasticus Sirach said? He said, "Give not thyself over to a light-minded woman." That is what we call a airhead. So this wise woman, she, when you go to Proverbs chapter 31, she is talking about this woman is an entrepreneur. She's over here while her children are asleep by night. She's over here still making things happen. She's thinking. Her husband is respectable in the city. I'm telling you here, if you have this on your side, which I've been favored by the Most High, to have a valuable, wise woman on my side that's been able to help assist me, that's in the background, that doesn't get the praise, that doesn't want to be seen by individuals, that's been helping push and promote me. And if I didn't have her, it would be a lot more challenging for me to do what I do on a daily basis. So I'm thankful for that. And I want you all, especially you men on the line, whether you married or not been married, especially those that haven't been married yet, I want you all to be patient and to be seeking the Most High and to be really praying and seeking the Most High for a woman of wisdom, because her price is above gold. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 26. This is the cheat code. I'm telling you. Very few men will attribute their wife, or it's not just a wife neither. Let me make this clear. It could be a mother, which is an ama, like ama Zuriya, or a sister. All right, a wife, a mother, a wife, or a sister, a wise woman. Period. In general, if you have a wise woman in your life, you want to make sure that you value that person. Get the wisdom from them. Ask them questions. Business-minded individuals. Or you want to sit down with them. If it's about health, it's about, herbs. Ask them questions so that they can pour into you the wisdom that they have been accumulating over time. Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse number 1. It says, "Blessed is the man that has a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double." Listen, this woman, this valuable woman who is worth more than gold, she is not going to bring stress unto you. It says she is going to double your days. So that means that you don't have to be broken down in your early 40s or early 50s. All right, you can live on at a higher age because you have a woman that's not stressing you out, that's not bringing care before the time, age before the time. Verse number 2, "A virtuous woman rejoice her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace." And for you brothers out there, that's what you want. You want to fulfill the years of your life in peace. So you need to have a virtuous, valuable, wise woman to be able to do this. Number 3, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion to them that fear Yah. So you need to fear the Most High. That is the beginning of wisdom. This wise woman, she fears the Most High, or else she's not going to be considered as a wise woman without that. So if both of you all fear the Most High, then you could be equally yoked together as believers of the word, as individuals that are walking in wisdom. All right. Now let's go down to verse number 13. Ecclesiastes chapter 26 is filled with the wisdom nuggets as it pertains to a wise woman. Verse number 13, "The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones." Now, this wise woman, she's discreet as well. She thinks about what she's about to say. Like I said, she's not out there in the open. She don't need to be seen by men. And when she speaks, all right, her words, they hold so much value because she's thought about them. She's thought about the effects that these words can have, the positive and the negative. And when she finally speaks, individuals, they hold on to this wise woman's words. All right, so we talked about that. "Forgo not a righteous woman." Verse number 22, same chapter, verse 26. "A harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband." So this married woman, this virtuous woman, this wise woman, she is like a tower. She's going to be right there, standing up. in defense of our husband. Even though we know that the man is the one that's supposed to be bringing the strength and the power, but this woman right there, she's letting the wise woman is letting her husband know, listen, I got your back. We in this together, and we're gonna ride this thing all the way out. So whether that and the same respect goes for a Amma. All right, an Amma may have that to her husband, or an elder, or a Zakane. Make sure that you value a wise woman. All right. That this ain't no Mother's Day message. This ain't none of that, woman worship message. This is just the truth. All right. If you have a wise woman in your midst, whether it's your mother, if your mother is still alive, all right, go in and tell her how much you appreciate her tonight. If you can still do that, if she's a wise woman. Now, we talked about that prudent wife building up your house. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 40. Ecclesiastes chapter 40. I know this is not a message that a lot of men would like to hear. Some people would rather me be talking about money tonight, business topics and things of that nature. But we have to take a pause for a second. I want to be able to tell you, as I begin to tell you about the keys to my success, I'm telling you about one of them tonight. It's the woman that's been by my side 16 years. All right. I have to be honest with you. So let's continue. Ecclesiastes chapter 40 and verse number 19 is not just limited to her, it's women to whether you're a mother on this live or whether you are a wife to her and you have a husband and you're down there holding it down for your household, for the women that's on the line. Ecclesiastes 40 and verse 19. Children in the building of the city continues a man's name, but a blameless wife is counted above them both. It said a blameless wife is counted above children and the building of a city. So the children, it carries on a man's name, especially a male child. And children carries on a man's name, and the building of a city, it carries on a man's name. That's why when you see these individuals, they conquer a city, they name it after their own name so that their name can perpetuate. But the wisdom scripture says that a wife, a virtuous wife, a wise woman, is above the children and above the building of the city. This is how valuable a wise woman is. Some of you all may not be hearing these scriptures before. All right, so let's go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 25. I told you we in my favorite book tonight, the book of Sirach. Ecclesiastes chapter 25. All right, and verse number 22. It says, a woman, if she maintains her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. And a wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that would not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Now pay attention to this. I know this is talking about a wicked woman. So now we got to take what it says about a wicked woman and we got to apply the opposite to it. It said a wicked woman abates the courage of her husband. So that abates means to lessen. So a wicked woman abates his courage. A wise woman will strengthen his courage. She will encourage him and make him more stronger. And a wicked woman makes a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. What would a wise woman do? She will help make a glad countenance, all right, and a mended heart. A woman that would not comfort her husband in distress, making weak hands and feeble knees. But what about the wise woman that does comfort her husband in distress? She makes strong hands and strong knees. This is the value of a wise woman. Because listen, there are times where us men, we feel like we are on top of the world, and sometimes it feel like the world is on top of us. And it's in those moments where if you have a wise woman, she's going to be able to know how to deal with you. Some of those wise women sometimes have been our mothers. They're coming in there giving us wisdom, sharing the advice with us. It might have been a big sister to some of us, all right? It might have been a big sister coming and giving us knowledge, giving us understanding. And sometimes it might have been that wife coming by, all right, and giving you encouraging words, giving you some wisdom. Sometimes individuals, they say things on the street and they don't even know that those same words were actually in the book, all right, under a different precept. So value a wise woman tonight. Please, we still got some more. All right, now let's go to Proverbs chapter 31. Going back to the virtuous woman for a second. Going back at the virtuous woman. So Proverbs chapter 31 and verse number 26. It says, she opens her mouth with wisdom Remember this wise woman, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. This wise woman has a kind spirit upon her. When you go to Wisdom of Solomon, you'll be able to see the fruits of wisdom. All right, it talks about she is kind, steadfast, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things. These are some of the fruits of wisdom right here. So this wise woman, when she opens up her mouth with wisdom, in her tongue is the law of kindness. So if a woman claims to be wise and she's not kind, I have to question that wisdom that she says she's walking in. And a wise individual from the beginning are not going to be out here telling you that they're wise anyway, because it says that better than another man speak well of you and not your own mouth, and a stranger and not your own lips. So that's when individuals tell you, I got enough wisdom. I'll say, well, okay, you got enough wisdom then. That's it. But a wise woman, she's not going to be flaunting and daunting her wisdom. She's going to be able to express it without sharing it, without going ahead and broadcast and telling everybody she's a wise person. Go to a couple verses down, verse 30. Favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman that fears Yah, she shall be praised. Listen, brothers on the line again, don't just be going by the beauty of a woman. Go by if she fears the Most High. It said, favor is deceitful. You will be deceived by the beauty of a woman. Favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman that fears Yah, she shall be praised. That is the key requisite. I beg for the brothers on the line, if you're single, all right, you want to make sure that you find a wise woman who fears the Most High. She may not be considered a dime in the world standard. She might be looked at as an eight. But I'm telling you, if she feared the Most High, you have a valuable treasure. I'm not calling none of the women on the lives no eight neither. I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. I'm talking to the brothers though. All right, don't just be looking by the looks at all. You want to look by the wisdom. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 21. We back in the book of Sirach again. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. So the main reason that you should be looking at a woman is not so that you could be sitting back having sexual intercourse with her. Do we want a beautiful woman? Do a man want a beautiful woman? Absolutely. That is in our DNA. All right, men, we want a beautiful woman, but we do not want that to be the number one thing that determines if you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person. You want to make sure that this person at the top of the list, they fear the Most High. Because if they don't fear the Most High, soon as you get into an argument, they're going back to the club. Soon as you get into an argument, they are going to find some kind of way, find that person who they used to talk to. I thought they supposed to got rid of their phone number. Nah, they still got that person's information somewhere. They can find them, especially through social media. So if you want someone that's going to fear Yah, so when y'all get into an argument or a disagreement, they're not just going to jump ship on you at the drop of a dime. They're going to be right there because they fear Yah, they reverence him, they reverence and they fear what he could do to them. All right, so keep that in mind. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse number 26. Ecclesiastes 7 and 26. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26. It says, hast thou a wife after thy own mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman. How many men have been guilty of that? Over the history and the annals of time, that have had a wife after their own mind, have had a woman that fears the Most High, but they saw something that they said they felt was a little more attractive, and that woman had a light mind. That in the streets they called him an airhead. They were so fascinated by how she looked. But the scripture, the wisdom tells us if you have a wife that's after your own mind, and you are a man that's supposed to have a mind after the ways of wisdom and after the instructions of the Most High, if she's after your mind and your mind is after the mind of the Most High, all right, it says don't give yourself over to somebody that has a light mind, a light-headed woman. The number of his years should be doubled. So now, Ecclesiastes 26 and 26. We almost about to wrap it up here for tonight. Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 26. A woman that honors her husband shall be judged wise of all. All right. A woman that honors her husband, she shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonors him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. Listen here. If a woman honors her husband, the scripture says she is wise. You want to value that woman. If you are a woman on the line and you see this woman, she honors her husband is an honorable, respectable man. And sometimes these women are honoring their husbands and they're not all that respectable, but they're still trying to do what the book of Peter says, where other women will be won by the conversation and the conduct of that woman with a meek and a gentle and a quiet spirit. Proverbs 18:22 says, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Most High. So I want you all tonight on this live to really take heed to these words. This is not the longest message tonight, but it was short and sweet, straight to the point. We we need to value the wise women that are in our midst. Like I said, whether it's the mothers, if I could get around one of these mothers, all right, and they somewhere and I look at some of these women like they are like, especially these women in their like mid to upper 60s and 70s and things of that nature, like they old enough to be my mother, all right, and they got some knowledge and they got some wisdom to share with me, like a mother would. I will listen to an older woman too. It's not just comprised. It's not just my understanding is just not limited, and to the wisdom is just not limited to just hearing it from a man. All right, the Most High speaks to women, and this is what some of these men are missing out on. They don't believe that the Most High deals with women. Even in the scripture where it said in Joel chapter 2, verse 28, that in the last days I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your young men shall see dreams, and your old men shall see visions, and he will pour out his spirit upon his maidservants. So listen, some of these women have wisdom. I'm not saying you should be sucking up under them and going around them all the time. Yeah, that can look very effeminate. But I'm saying if you're somewhere and one of these older women, they got something to share with you, or they might even see something in you that you need to improve, or something you could do to tweak something to make your life a little bit better. You will be wise to value their advice. Value the wise woman, whether it's your mother, whether it's a mother, it don't have to be your mother, a mother. Remember when we was growing up, sometimes you got a spanking or a whooping or correction from someone else's mother that was not kin to you, but we all lived on these streets where the street was like a village. They said it takes a village to raise a child. Be wise enough to listen to someone else's mother. Be wise enough to listen to a older sister, whether it's your blood sister or whether it's an older a coach in the truth or in the walk. I'm saying a coach tonight. We got all people of my belief system on here tonight. So pay attention to a wise sister. Pay attention. Listen to a wise woman, period. Listen to a wise wife. What happened when the scripture, when Abraham, when he had to go ahead and put away Ishmael, Sarah told him, get this woman and this bond servant out of here. And they said it was grievous unto Abraham to do such a thing. And then the spirit of the Most High said, listen to her. This is what I'm telling you all tonight. Listen, value a wise woman. All right. I'm not telling you to worship them. I'm not telling you to bow down to them. I'm not telling you to sit back and put them on a pedestal, but I am telling you to listen to what they have to say. I am telling you to value their advice, because their advice can cost you your life. Their advice is worth more than advice is more than gold. And if you trust the spirit of the Most High, you would know that his spirit is not just dwelling in a men. Some of these women have thrown their hands up and cried out to the Most High. Some of these women have put down the drugs and put down prostitution, put down homosexuality, put down all these other things to serve the Most High. So you would be foolish not to listen to them if the Most High has filled them with his spirit to be able to proclaim his word. All right.